පාරමිතා බලේන විද්වංසියෝ කිල කිලේස සමෝහ ජාලං සේනේව ලන්ද අරහං අරහෝති නාමං වන්දාමි බුද්ධ මමලං හදයේටපෙන්ත්වා නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one. කතමෝච භික්ඛවේ සම්මාසති ඉද භික්ඛවේ භික්ඛෝ කායේ කායානුපස්සේ විහෙරති ආතාපේ සම්පජානෝ සතිමා විනේය ලෝකේ අවිජ්ජා දෝමනස්සං වේදනාසු වේදනානුපස්සේ විහෙරති චිත්තේ චිත්තානුපස්සේ විහෙරති ධම්මේසු ධම්මානුපස්සේ විහෙරති ආතාපේ සම්පජානෝ සතිමා විනේය ලෝකේ අවිජ්ජා දෝමනස්සං අයං උච්චති භික්ඛවේ සම්මාසති. Good morning for everyone. Venerable sirs, bhikkhunis, nuns, friends in the Dhamma. We are here in our retreat named the Noble Eightfold Path, conducted by the Bhāvanā Society, West Virginia, USA. In this session, we are going to discuss one of the parts of the Noble Eightfold Path, Sammāsati, right mindfulness. We have to discuss everything in short since we have received only 45 minutes. Therefore, you have to pay your attention very well to this sermon. Sammāsati, right mindfulness. Right mindfulness based on right understanding. Right mindfulness means, in short, being aware of our body and mind. With details, the contemplation of body, contemplation of feelings or sensations, contemplation of mind, and contemplation of phenomena or mental formations. Here we should understand very special thing here. There are three things in mindfulness. According to Vibhanga Sutta, which comes in Samyutta Nikaya, in Satipatthana Samyutta, Buddha says, Satipatthanaṁ bhikkhave desissāmi Satipatthana bhāvanāṁ Satipatthana bhāvanāgāmini patipadāṁ. O bhikkhus, I explain you mindfulness meditation, and the path that leads to mindfulness meditation. These three things are very important when we discuss mindfulness. You know, in the current society, this topic is very famous. Everywhere you can buy mindfulness. Here we should understand what is the clear meaning of mindfulness in Buddhism. That is very important. There are a lot of people who are in the world, they talk about mindfulness. Among them, we should have clear understanding about mindfulness in Buddhism. We mostly hear that when we discuss mindfulness, forget your past, forget your future, live in the present moment. Is it Buddhism? No. Buddhism never says us to forget anything. Forgetting is a very big mistake. The main topic in Buddhism is that mindfulness. When we cultivate mindfulness, our memory gradually increases. The more we develop mindfulness, the more we can remember which happened in the past. The memory is not the fault. What is the fault? The fault is ignorance or delusion. When we remember something which happened in the past, if we think now I live in the past experience, that is the cause of suffering. When we cultivate mindfulness, we can remember everything which happened in our life from our birth to now. Not only that, we can remember everything which happened when we were in mother's womb. Not only that, when we cultivate very special psychic energies according to Buddhism, we can remember more than 500 eons in the past experience. Memory is not the fault. Memory is the result of practicing mindfulness. But we should understand very clearly the difference between mindfulness and mindfulness meditation and the path that leads to attain the mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness means keeping our attention in the present moment. We are aware of our body, our feelings or sensations, mind and phenomena or mind objects. That is mindfulness. This is based on the conventional truth in the mundane level. Since we take something, there is something around us as the formal world. That is based on the conventional truth, Sammāsati, in the mundane level. Mindfulness meditation means when we keep our attention in the present moment, we look at it with insight meditation. When we look at a person, when we recognize a person, when we contact something through our eye, form, eye contact, eye consciousness, we understand when I recognize this form, I understand everything through my mind consciousness. Then we understand arising and ceasing of our sensations or senses or contact or mentality and corporeality or five aggregates. We reflect on arising and ceasing of our fundamental things in our life. Reflecting on impermanence based on supramundane level. This is mindfulness meditation. In short, practicing Vipassana Bhāvanā is the mindfulness meditation according to Buddhism. Mindfulness usually we can say as Samatha Bhāvanā according to Vibhanga Sutta. Mindfulness meditation means Vipassana Bhāvanā, reflecting on impermanence, arising and ceasing of our mentality and corporeality, or reflecting on impermanence of arising and ceasing of our five aggregates, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijñāna. That is mindfulness meditation, insight meditation. There is another thing, the path that leads to mindfulness meditation. The path. What is the path? The path is, we are talking about the Noble Eightfold Path. This mindfulness should be a part of the Noble Eightfold Path. This mindfulness is not just mindfulness, that is right mindfulness, Sammāsati. Sammāsati, right mindfulness, is based on right understanding and right effort. Whatever we practice as a part of the Noble Eightfold Path, everywhere we have to see three things. What they are? Right understanding, right effort, and right mindfulness. These three things are together everywhere. Don't forget. If you forget these things, everything that we talk is useless. That is why Buddha says, when we practice mindfulness, Adimeva Visodehi Kusalesu Dhammesu. At the beginning, we should have the starting point of the whole Sammāsati. At the very beginning, we should have clear understanding about Sila and Vision. Silancha Suisuddham Dittin Tujuka. Sila, that is virtue, should be clean. And also Dittin Tujuka, view, that is straight. We should have straight vision and very clear virtue or moral conduct. What is that? That is said in Buddhism in Karaniya Sutta. Dittin Chanupagama Silava Dasanena Sampanna. Without going to extremes, we should practice Sila virtue. What is that? What are the extremes? If we think there is a world, that is an extreme. If we think there is no world, that is an extreme. Dhamma explains, when we see the arising of five aggregates, we don't go to the extreme of nihilism or 𝒮𝓃. When we see the cessation of these five aggregates, we don't go to the extreme of eternalism or 𝒮𝓴tavāda. These both extremes should be overcome by one vision, which is Paṭisamuppada, divine origination, Arya Nyaya, the theory of noble ones, Idappaccata, causality. This is the heart of Buddhism, which is Paṭisamuppada. Your Paṭisamuppadam Passati, so Dhamma Passati. He who sees the divine origination sees the Dhamma. Your Dhammam Passati, so Mam Passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees the Buddha. Understanding the divine origination is the way how we understand who the Buddha is. Until we recognize, we understand the Paṭisamuppada, we haven't recognized who the Buddha is. What's the thing? When we contact something at the moment, the world arises at the moment with the conditions. When conditions cease, immediately the world ceases without remaining anything. This is the highest vision based on the supramundane level according to the ultimate truth. But there are primary level understanding, which is the karmic law. Whatever we do with intention, we will have the same results. There is a world around us. When we do good deeds, we will have good results. When we do bad things, we will have bad results, negative results. That belongs to the mundane level conventional truth. That is also accepted in Buddhism. But there is another truth that directly helps us to overcome the samsaric circle completely. That directly helps us to overcome ignorance or delusion. What is the ignorance? We think that even though we don't experience the world, there is a world around us. And also, before we see something, there was a world. After we experience something, the world remains. That is the nature of ignorance. That is the nature of bhava, the process of becoming. The main things that we have to overcome in order to overcome the samsaric circle, which are avidya, bhavatanha, ignorance, and bhavatanha, the clinging to the process of becoming. For that we should have this understanding. With this understanding, we come to practice mindfulness. When we practice mindfulness, we fulfill fourfold mindfulnesses. 𝐁𝐿𝐶𝐵 viharathi, ātāpi sampajāno 𝒮𝓃 ℒ𝒶𝓃. We practice the contemplation of body in body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed craving and displeasure in regard to the world. This is the first step of mindfulness. 𝐾𝐿𝐶𝐵 viharathi, we are aware of our body. This 𝐾𝐿 meditation is divided into 6, which are breathing meditation, Iriyapata Bhāvanā, the contemplation of four postures, Sampajanya, we are aware of our all activities from morning to going to bed, and also Dhātu Manasikara, the contemplation of four fundamental elements, Patikula Manasikara, the contemplation of the impurity body parts, such as hair, skin, so on, and also finally 𝒮𝓃, the charnel ground contemplation. After we die, if our body keep in the ground in the cemetery, then our physical body gradually change until it comes to the skeleton, final dust. This is the way how we practice the contemplation of body in body. Here we keep our attention in the present moment. Very smooth meditation technique in this part is that breathing meditation. When we breathe in, we are aware of that now I am breathing in. Breathing out, when we are aware of that now I am breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, so on. As a result of contemplating on breathing in and out, our mind gradually gains concentration. When mind gains concentration, we reflect on impermanence. This breathing is a part of my physical body. My physical body is the result of the food or nutriments that I take every day. Because of food, this body arises. Because of this body, I have breathing in and out. As a result of the cessation of nutrients of food, this breathing also ceases at the moment. We reflect on arising and ceasing. Firstly, we contemplate our mind on our breathing in and out. When mind gains concentration, we reflect on arising and ceasing of our body. Samudaya Dhammanupassī viharathi, Vaya Dhammanupassī viharathi, Samudaya Vaya Dhammanupassī viharathi. Arising, ceasing, arising and ceasing, that belongs to Satipatthana Bhāvanā or mindfulness meditation or Vipassana Bhāvanā, insight meditation. And also we can practice this 𝐾𝐿 in another way, contemplating on the four fundamental elements. This physical body consists with four things: earth element, water element, fire element and air element. they also every moment arise and cease. Keeping our attention in the present moment, again and again we contemplate on these four things, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, solidity, fluidity, heat and motion. Again and again we contemplate on these four fundamental elements. As a result of practicing and contemplating on these four things, our mind gradually gains concentration when it comes to calm and peaceful. We practice insight meditation. These fundamental elements are made with my food or nutriments. Because of food, these four things arise. As a result of the cessation of food or nutriments, these fundamental elements also gradually cease. We reflect on arising and ceasing of these four fundamental elements: earth element, water element, fire element and air element. Then gradually we understand what happens to my physical body. So finally we contemplate on our physical body after we die. After we die, if one day people will keep it in a cemetery or ground, it gradually changes. Finally it becomes a skeleton. Ultimately it becomes the dust. When we recognize it, we can contemplate on our mind with our physical body. Here especially we understand our physical body as the result of practicing this contemplation of body. As soon as we meet a person or we think about our physical body, we apply this reality. It helps us to overcome desire and anger, or lust and anger, or craving of anger. Finally, when we reflect on impermanence, arising and ceasing of this physical body, we can overcome ignorance or delusion completely. How do we see it? As soon as we see this physical body, we understand, even though I contact this my physical body through my eyes, actually when I recognize this physical body, I understand everything through my mind consciousness at that moment. My eye consciousness, form, eye contact, eye sensations, eye thoughts, everything has ceased. I recognize everything through my mind consciousness. That mind consciousness also arises and ceases at the moment. That is also impermanent. This is the way how we contemplate on body in body. There are some parts, but we explained everything in short. Next we are going to Vedanas Vedanupassi Viharati, the contemplation of sensations or feelings in feelings. How do we practice it? We have painful feelings, pleasant feelings, neutral feelings through our senses, through our eye feelings, ear feelings, so on. When we understand pleasant or painful or neutral feelings, we keep our attention in these feelings or sensations. We look at it mindfully. No matter whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, pleasant or painful or neutral, we recognize it as it is. And also we understand how these feelings arise because of contact. This feeling arises as a result of the cessation of contact. This feeling immediately ceases at the moment. Phassa samudaya vedana samudaya phassa nirodha vedana nirodha. As a result of arising of contact, feelings arise. As a result of the cessation of contact, feelings also cease at the moment. That belongs to insight meditation. Samudaya dhammanupassī vihārati, vaya dhammanupassī vihārati, samudaya vaya dhammanupassī vihārati. Arising, ceasing, arising and ceasing. Every moment these feelings arise and cease. But because of ignorance, we bind everything. We think only one feeling, but every moment it arises and ceases. With this understanding, as soon as we have some positive or negative or neutral feelings, we understand this is impermanent. This feeling is not just a person, but just a result of some causes or reasons or conditions. As the result of this practice and understanding, we can overcome the attachment to the feelings or sensations. We understand our own feelings, ajjattanava vedanas vedanupassī vihārati. And also, if we see others' feelings through our sensations, there also we understand that is the nature of their. That feeling also arises because of contact. When contact ceases, that feeling also ceases. We don't take anything. Netan mama, neso hamasmi, name swattha. That is not mine, that is not me, that is not myself. That is just a result of some causes or conditions. Next we go to 𝒮𝓾 ℒ𝒶𝓃 ℒ𝒶. This is the very beautiful place. Now you can check who you are. Sarāgaṃ vā cittaṃ sarāgaṃ cittaṃ padānāti. Now you have directly come to your room. What is your room? Your mind. When mind is lustful, we immediately understand, now my mind has lust. Vitarāgaṃ vā cittaṃ vitarāgaṃ cittaṃ padānāti. When mind has no lust, we understand, now my mind has no lust. Sadosaṃ vā cittaṃ sadosaṃ cittaṃ padānāti. When mind is angry, we immediately understand, now my mind has anger. I am failed. When mind is not angry, vita dosaṃ vā cittaṃ vita dosaṃ cittaṃ padānāti. When mind is not angry, we understand, now my mind has no anger. I am free from anger. I win the match. And also, the very important thing, samohaṃ vā cittaṃ samohaṃ cittaṃ padānāti. Vitamohaṃ vā cittaṃ vitamohaṃ cittaṃ padānāti. When mind is ignorant, we understand, now my mind has ignorance. How do we understand it? Whenever you think that there is a form in the outside world at the moment as it is, when you see something, when you hear something, when you smell something, when you remember something, if you think there is something in this material world as it is, as I experience, that is the nature of ignorance. That is the nature of the process of becoming, that we are ready to come back to the world. if we have this misunderstanding, our mind definitely depends on the material world. It means avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnana, and so on. With the arising of ignorance, mental formations arise. With the arising of mental formations, consciousness arises. Finally, bhava paccaya jati, jati paccaya jara marana. With the arising of the process of becoming, birth arises as the result of arising of birth, decay, sickness, death, sorrow, lamentation. All the sufferings arise. We are in the samsaric of the circle. We are in the samsaric circle. Whenever our mind depends on the material world, be sure we are not away from the suffering of aging, suffering of decay, suffering of death. It doesn't mean that after this understanding we don't go to old age, sickness or death. That is the nature of the world. That is the 𝒶𝓃 Dhamma. But we don't have suffering of aging, suffering of sickness, suffering of death. That is the result of Arhantas. How do we understand now my mind has no ignorance? 𝑉𝑡 moham vācittaṃ 𝑉𝑡 moham cittam bhajanāti. When mind is not ignorant, we understand now my mind has no ignorance. How do we recognize it? When we see something, when we hear something, when we smell something, when we remember something, if you know very well, that form has already completely ceased. I recognize everything through my mind consciousness. That mind consciousness also impermanent. It arises and ceases at the moment. When I talk to you, I may think that there is an audience here. Actually, when I talk to you, the concept of audience has already ceased. I talk to myself. I talk to my own mind. It doesn't mean that there is no material world. Actually, there is a material world constituted for fundamental elements. That is true. But when I recognize you, I recognize everything through my mind consciousness. With this understanding, as soon as we meet something in the material world, we understand this material has already completely ceased. Then my mind releases from the material world. At the same time, my mind releases from even my mental formations too, mind consciousness too. I see only thing which happens to my life is that arising and ceasing of 5 aggregates. Finally, we understand. Vimuttaṃ vā cittaṃ vimuttaṃ cittam bhajanāti. Avimuttaṃ vā cittaṃ avimuttaṃ cittam bhajanāti. When mind is liberated, we understand it. When my mind is not liberated, we understand it. Whenever we depend on ignorance, we are not liberated from suffering. We are still in the samsaric circle based on suffering. Whenever we can eradicate ignorance completely, at that moment, we are free from suffering. We are free from the world. It means our mind is liberated. In this way, we contemplate mind in mind. That mind also not permanent. Nama-rupa samudaya vijnana samudyo. Nama-rupa nirodha vijnana nirodha. With the arising of mentality and corporeality, consciousness arises as a result of the cessation of mentality and corporeality. This consciousness also immediately ceases at the moment. We don't take anything as permanent, even our consciousness. That consciousness also arises and ceases in every moment. That is the way how we practice mindful meditation in mind. Then we come to the final destination. Dhammesu Dhammanupassī Viharathi, the contemplation of phenomena in phenomena. There we understand Pancha-Nivarana, 5 hindrances, 5 aggregates, 7 enlightenment factors, our 6 senses, 4 noble truths. We recognize everything. When our mind has hindrances, Nivarana, we understand it. When our mind has no hindrances, we understand it too. And also we understand our entire life is that the 5 aggregates, Rupa, form, Vedana, sensations, Sanya, perception, Sankhara, mental formations, and Vijnana, consciousness. These 5 things arise senses every moment. In the Dhammanupassana, we understand these things. And next, we understand our senses. Every moment, our senses arise senses. They are not permanent. With this understanding, we come to the 7 enlightenment factors, awakening factors, Bojjhanga, Satta Bojjhanga. On our spiritual path, we meet some gems like that, the 7 enlightenment factors are the gems that we meet on our path. Sati Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of mindfulness, Dhamma Vijaya Sambojjhanga, Viriya, Piti, Passaddhi, Samadhi, Upekkha. Finally, we come to the enlightenment factor of equanimity. When we see this reality, our mind gradually comes to equanimity. When we don't find anything in the material world, our mind has no anything in the outside world in order to depend. Since we see only arising and ceasing of our mind and body, mentality and cooperativity of 5 aggregates. We live equanimously, Upekkha Sambojjhanga. This is the way how we practice Sammāsati, right mindfulness, in short. When you refer some discourses in Google, you can find some other information. But according to our time, we explain everything in short. Okay, as a result of this path, finally we come to equanimity, Upekkha. Upekkha can be seen in various ways. In mundane level, we can see Upekkha in the jhana level. Piti, Sukha, Upekkha, those are the facts of jhana in the mundane level based on the world. But here we come to the highest level, Upekkha, or equanimity, the enlightenment factor of equanimity, Upekkha Sambojjhanga. This is the very highest result of our spiritual path. For that, let's try to practice this path in this immediate life and get the results very soon. For that, I wish you all the best. By the power of this listening to Dhamma, may all your spiritual and educational goals meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain the supreme bliss of liberation. Sadhu. Dukkham pantāca nirdukkhaṃ, bhayam pantāca nirbhayam, sokam pantāca nissokam, hontu sambe pipānino. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful.